We were discussing the disciples. What color were they?
Well, I don't think we know that for certain.
But they were Hebrews, were they not?
That's right.
As was Jesus. Jesus was also a Hebrew.
Why don't you just ask your question?
What color were the original Hebrews?
I have told you that we don't know that for certain.
Then you can't believe for certain that Jesus was white.
The religion. The answer to this lies in the vast changes that took place in Christian practices between the 1st and 4th century. Over time, the leaders of the church began accepting or at least tolerating new doctrine. In the 2nd century, Clement of Alexandria left a vast body of work that, according to Justo L. Gonzalez in Volume 1 of The Story of Christianity, Clement uses the Greek doctrine of logos to call Christians to be open to truth and philosophy. The 2nd century Bishop of Rome, later known as Pope Victor I, is well known for the Quartodeciman controversy, where he pushed for the excommunication of Christians who kept Passover as opposed to the adopted pagan fertility festival held on Sunday, later known as Easter. Victor sent out a letter to be distributed among all the Christian churches, where he warned that the Lord's resurrection from the dead should be celebrated on no other day than on Sunday. Tertullian of Carthage was an early Christian author around the turn of the 3rd century. He was influenced by Stoic philosophy, and it was his writings on the concept of God being a Trinity that eventually became the hallmark of orthodoxy. On March 7th, AD 321, Constantine declared that, "On the venerable day of the sun, let the magistrates and people residing in cities rest, and let all workshops be closed." Sunday worship, as opposed to Sabbath day observance, was later canonized by the Council of Laodicea in AD 363. It was Constantine who gave the stamp of approval for all the transformation that took place between the 1st and 4th centuries.
Yes. So why are we still as a people held back on painting him as this white man when it clearly states how he looks like in the Bible?
Yes. Can you read that real quick? Revelation 1:14. Just get to the point.
Revelation chapter 1 verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So Jesus Christ has white woolly hair.
As white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Because he drank wine in moderation.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Brass is brown.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Now watch this. So the Bible, you mean these Christians never read that? They've read it. Now your friend, I'm going to go to you. Don't be offended, but I have to tell you the truth. You said, why do they say he's a spirit? Because if they acknowledge Jesus is black, that means you're more than a Negro. You're the people of Jesus. And they have done the greatest crimes against you, not just you, your people. So it's safer to say, get Luke 171, he's a spirit. That way, you and I can stay friends. Because if I say to you, if I'm European and I say, listen, you're the people of God, and we destroyed you, out of hatred, our friendship might end. Watch what Christ said here.
Luke chapter 1 verse 71. That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us.
See that? The purpose of Christ is to save you from your enemies and those that hate you. And you might say, no, my good white friend, she loves me. He loves me. But the white image of Jesus is racist. Because you read, and I read just now, he's black. You mean all these great minds, they've read that. They hate that. So they say, give a false image. And then I'll say, I'm your friend. Listen, I'm your friend and I love you. But meanwhile, in my mind, I know he's black, but I don't want to tell you that. It's all hatred. It's deceit.